Hey, it's Jillian. We're going to take a look at some problems around graphing parabolas. Okay, so the graph of y equals 4x squared plus something passes through the point -1, -1. Find the something. So, well, here's the thing. We know that if we have 1, 2, 3 unknowns, and they tell us what 2 of them are, we can plug in and solve for the third. So let's do that. This is, of course, like every point, x, y. So instead of y equals 4x squared plus k, we're going to replace y with -1. We're going to replace x with -1. And we're going to solve for k. So -1 equals -1 squared is 1. -1 equals 4 plus k. When I bring 4 over, it's -1 minus 4 equals k. So k equals -5. There you go. The graph of y equals ax squared plus k, so there's some stretch possibly, and there's some up and down, right, because it's in the brackets for the moving right and left, goes through these points. Find a and k. So let's plug in these, and then let's plug in these for x and y, and see what happens. So here we've got y equals ax squared plus k, and we'll plug in x is 2 and y is 3. And here we've got y equals ax squared plus b, and we'll plug in y is -9 when x is -4. And now let's simplify. 3 equals, that's 4a. We don't really say a4, we usually put the number in front. And then here this is -4 squared is 16a. So now we have two equations. They have two unknowns. They have the same two unknowns, and we need to find them. This is exactly like chapter 1 with linear systems. So let's solve the system. We have 4a plus k equals 3, and 16a plus k equals -9. So if they both are plus k, let's just subtract them. So we have 1 minus 2. So we've got 4 minus 16 is -12a, k minus k is nothing, and 3 minus minus 9 is +12. Then I'm going to divide both sides by -12, and a equals +12 over -12 is -1. Now I'm going to sub this into either 1 or 2, doesn't matter, I'll just pick 1. And now I have 4a plus k equals 3. That's -4 plus k equals 3. I'm going to go this way. Then I have k equals 3. Bring this over is +4. So k equals 7. And that's find a and find k, and that's exactly what we did. Okay, let's take a look here. And just so you know, when I'm doing these questions, if you think, well, I would never have thought of doing this on my own. Okay, so you didn't. The question is, do you see now when you end up with two equations and the two unknowns that you have are the same that you can solve with elimination or substitution? The question is, will you do that in the future? The question is never, did you figure it out on your own? The question is, once it's been explained to you, can you now do it when you get a question like that? Okay? So now let's take a look at this. Hang on, I just want to adjust this slightly. What's going on here? All right. A gateway arch can be modeled by the function h equals yada da, where h is the height and d is the horizontal distance from the center of the arch. Units are in meters. Sketch the arch. Okay, so sketch is not with exact, but with the general idea. So I know this is, oops, I'm so used to x and y, I need to pay attention to what it actually asks me and use d and h. So I know this is concave down, right? And I know my vertex, really, that's really this, right? Actually, let me just do a simpler example. If you have something like this, you know that is the same as this. In other words, when there's nothing in the brackets, that means that the x value of the vertex is a 0. Okay, so here we don't have d minus anything, it's just d. So the vertex is 0, 200, so let's call that 200. And it goes down because it goes down. That's the sketch for now, okay? H is height, d is distance from the center of the arch. So that's the center of the arch. Sketch the arch, done. Find the maximum height of the arch. The maximum height of the arch is, of course, the y value of the vertex, which is 200 meters. Find the approximate width of the arch. So now we need to know where this actually comes down and cuts, because that will be the arch. If this is ground 0 or height 0, this will be the road. So we need to know what the d-intercepts are. So we better solve for that. Here I've got h equals minus 0.09 d squared plus 200. And I want to know the d-intercept, so that's where h equals 0. So I'm going to bring 200 over, which is negative 200. And then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1, so those are now positive. And then now I have to divide both sides by 0.09, so that we just have d squared over there. So now I have d squared equals this. I'm just going to write it like this. D squared equals, okay, so now what I need to do is I need to find out what that equals, and then I need to take the square root. So I'm going to pull out my calculator, and I've got 200 divided by 0.09. Oops, pressed something incorrectly. 200 divided by 0.09, and I end up with d squared equaling about approximately 2222.22. Okay, so now I need to find the square root of that. I don't have my calculator, it's just my phone. I don't have the square root button. So let me just approximate it. Hang on. So I've got here, so 45 squared is 2025, 46 squared. So it's approximately, d is approximately plus or minus 47. Okay, so that means this is 47 and this is minus 47. So back to the question. Find the approximate width of the arch. So from here to here, that is 47 times 2. Right? So 47 times 2 is 94, approximately, that's what the dot means, 94 meters. Then it says, find the height at a horizontal distance of 15 meters from one end. So from this end, if I go from an end, if I go 15 meters over, I need to find out what the height is. Okay, well 15 meters over is 32. So when that's 32, of course this isn't drawn to scale, just a general idea. So 47 minus 15 is 32. And when D is 32, what is H? Well, I don't know, let's see. H equals minus 0.09 D squared plus 200 minus 0.09 32 squared. Wait. Okay, let's figure out what it is. We've got 32 squared times negative 0.09 equals 107.84, approximately 107.84 meters. So this would be 107, which makes sense. If that's 107-ish, that's 200, right? If this was 300, that wouldn't make sense because that's 200. So the answer to this is about, whenever you're rounding, you have to write about or approximate, about 107.84 meters. There you go. So those are some of the word problems that you'll have with questions like this.